So everyone, just getting yourselves comfortable. You can be sitting or lying down, it doesn't matter, as long as you're comfortable. And we'll just start with taking a couple of deep breaths. Just becoming aware of your breathing. Right now, no place to go, nothing to do. Just being present here. Here with what's happening. Sitting in a chair or lying on a surface. Aware of the sensations of your body touching a surface. Aware of the movement of your body as the breath moves in and out. Also noticing any sounds that you hear inside the room or outside the room. The sound of my voice. The sound of your own breathing. Just becoming acutely aware of all sounds without naming them or doing anything with them, just noticing that hearing is happening. You might even be able to be aware of the silence that's underneath the sound. Listen for that too. Also becoming aware of the space that's around your body, the space around you in the room, between your body and the walls or any other objects. Notice if you can bring your attention to the space that's beyond even the walls. Outside the room, outside the house. Noticing also this sense of your body sitting here, meeting that space. Notice that sense of an edge or a boundary between inner and outer. See if you can get that boundary to expand into the space around it. See if there really is such a thing as inner and outer. And then start to notice the space on the inside of your body. It's the energy. Notice if the space on the inside seems to be any different from the space on the outside. Noticing the quality of it, texture of it, if there is one, properties of it. See if it's any different no matter where you look or feel. And then start to bring your attention down into that felt sense in your body. And just noticing what's actually happening here. Noticing that with your eyes closed, you may see shapes and colors that seem to represent the body or body energies. And also notice the actual sensations themselves that are happening in your body. We're just going to spend this whole time noticing and allowing. We're not trying to change anything. We're not trying to make something wrong for being here. Even if it's cravings or compulsions, if you've come wanting to look at an addiction or a compulsion with this meditation, then just bring to mind your particular urge or craving or addiction. Notice what happens in your body when you do that. And if you haven't come for that, then just notice whatever energy is here. There might be some contraction or tension or tightness, some pain. Whatever you're noticing, just feel it. And see if you can just feel it without anything added to it, without thoughts or images. Just resting so quietly, like you're listening for a pin to drop in the next room. So quietly, you just rest in and feel this energy that's here in your body. Stay with it. Don't move from it, even if it's uncomfortable. Keep resting deeper. Right into the energy itself. Stay with it. Not moving from it no matter what happens. And notice what happens when you do nothing with this. when you really just let it be the way it is. Often an energy will just shift on its own. Anything will, actually. Nothing can stay if we're just present to it. So just notice what happens when you do nothing with this. And if this sensation is already shifted for you, then just notice what's here in its place. And rest in that, feeling that energy. All the way through. If an energy isn't shifting for you just naturally on its own, notice there's probably something else happening with it. There might be shapes, or images, or colors that seem to represent that energy. Notice that's an image if you see that. So if you do have an image, or if you have thoughts about it that are running through your head, just notice those too. We're not trying to stop anything or push them away. We're just noticing how everything naturally comes and goes on its own. So if you have images or thoughts, take them one at a time, slow it down, and just look at them. Notice that thoughts are words, and you can actually see them. Or you might hear them, that's fine too. Either way, we're just allowing. And what if you do nothing with these either? With the sounds, or the images, or the words? You just rest. And let even those be themselves. See if anything can stay if you're only looking at it or feeling it. So you just keep resting deeper. Letting your body relax even more. Noticing what energy is happening in your body now. Just resting in it. Doing nothing with it other than feeling it. Really take your time with whatever's here. Feeling the energy. Noticing also there's space around the energy. Becoming aware of that too. Letting the energy itself, if it has borders, see if you can make it grow. See if you can get it to expand into the space around it. So we're just playing with energy here. Notice what happens when you do that. And you're still just resting and allowing all of it. So keep dropping into that felt sense. Notice what sensation is here now. Really allowing all of it. Whatever's here, giving it full permission to be here. Giving it full permission to be just the way it is. Notice what happens when you do nothing with this other than feel it. And if you have a lot of thoughts coming in that you just can't ignore, you can't stay in the body and feeling, because there's so many thoughts coming, that happens too. Just notice that. What if you don't even try to stop the thoughts? What if you don't try to change them? What if you still rest here and just notice thought coming and going? If you can actually see a thought, if you can see the words, then just look at them. You're just resting and looking. And as you're looking at them, notice also the space around them, and between the letters, space in front and behind and above and below. Notice they're just letters that hang here in space, still doing nothing with them. See if the words can even stay if you're not doing anything with them. Or have they already faded off and maybe they're replaced by new words? If that happens, that's fine. Just notice that too. And just look at those. Notice the shapes of the letters, the color of the lines and the shapes. If you could reach your hand out and touch those words, if you could touch a thought, notice the texture. Does it have one? Still doing nothing other than looking. Notice what happens with those words, with that thought, when you do nothing with it. See if it can even stay. In fact, try to get it to stay. Try to get a thought or an energy, if that's what you're feeling. Try to get it to stay just by looking at the words or feeling the energy. With no effort, can you make it stay? Or do you have to do something to make it stay? See if you can make it stay if you're not putting any effort in to do that, if you're just looking or just feeling. See if you can bring your attention to the space where the next thought is going to come out of. As one thought disappears, see if you can rest in that place right before the next one shows up. See if you can watch a thought arise. Can you watch a thought develop in this space? And then watch as it lives, as it becomes clearer. Still just watching it. And notice what happens as it dissolves back into the space around it. And resting there. And you can keep doing this if you have a lot of thoughts. Just resting in the space where a thought is born. Watch it live its life. And resting back in the space it goes back into when it dies, before the next one is born. You can do this with energies too. Notice the space that any body sensation or energy seems to be happening in. Letting energies arise. Watching as an energy and feeling as an energy is born. Feeling it, being it, the whole time it lives its life. And then resting as it just dissolves back into that space. Notice you're not trying to make any of this happen. You're just resting and allowing all of it, what's already happening. If there's any trying going on, notice that's an energy too. And if that energy is here, then let it be here. Feel that too. And notice what happens when you do nothing with that either. If what I'm saying is going too fast for you, just notice that. And bring your attention into your own experience. What's here for you right now? Thoughts are here. Just rest and look at them. And notice what happens when you do nothing with them. If body energies are here, just rest and feel them. Notice what happens when you do nothing with those. Go at your own pace. The whole time just resting and allowing. Literally allowing everything. Some of you might even have noticed this sense of allowing is here. Notice that's also an energy. Do nothing with this either. You might even notice there's something here that seems to be aware of the allowing and of all of the energies and thoughts and images. Do nothing with this either. Just rest in that sense, that energy. Notice what happens when you do nothing with this either. Even if there's positive or good or pleasant feelings or sensations or senses, notice if there's some movement to try to hold on to it or keep it. And if there is, can you not make that wrong? Can you allow that too? Do nothing with that either. Resting even deeper. Full yes to whatever is here right now. Keep resting and allowing. It's as though you're merging with whatever energy is here right now, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Like it's not separate from you. Like you're being it. Notice what happens when you do that. Notice if anything can stay. If you're just resting, allowing, being all of it. Noticing even those sensations of looking, of noticing, of feeling, of hearing. Let even these be. Notice what happens when you do nothing with even these senses, like they're not separate from you. Not a sense of me, hearing, feeling, noticing, allowing. And if there is a sense of me doing these things, then let that be too. Be that. Notice what happens when you don't try to figure anything out. When you don't try to analyze or control or do something with anything that's here. Notice that for some of you it might be scary not to figure things out or control. If that's here for you, then feel that too. Letting even that energy be. See if there's a place you're trying to get to. Peace, happiness, enlightenment, whatever it is. And if there's an effort in trying to get there, notice the effort. Notice that striving or reaching towards something. If you're feeling that, rest in that energy too. I'm not saying to stop it. I'm just saying be this energy too. Notice this is what's here. Notice what happens when you really do nothing. And rest even deeper into that, whatever is happening in your body right now. Even if rest is here, do nothing with this either. If you find any place that seems to be a landing point, like, oh, rest, yes, finally here. Notice there's a sense of landing and wanting to hold on to rest, or peace, or love, or whatever it is. And notice what happens when you do nothing with that. You just let that be. Without putting any meaning on it. to see if the space that the energies are happening in and the words are happening in and the images are happening in, does it have a preference for what happens in it? Does it try to hold on to what appears in it? Or push away anything that appears in it? And if there seems to be some sense of landing or holding on to or striving to reach this space, as though that's something to be held to, or as though that means something, notice that too. Do nothing with that either. Notice what happens when you do nothing with that either. Just keep resting and allowing. If you started out with thinking about a compulsion or addiction, bring that up now. Notice what happens in your body when you think about that or see an image of that. Or anything that would have triggered you, that might have been happening in your world before we started. And notice what happens now. Whatever is happening now, let that be too. Whatever energy is here, just rest in it. Whether it's a pleasant one or an unpleasant one. If thoughts or images are here with that, just look at them. Just resting and looking. Notice what happens when you do nothing with whatever it is you're looking at or feeling. And if that's shifted already, then just notice what's here in its place. What's here now? It's this constant moment of now, noticing what's here now. And whatever is here, letting it be. Whether it's pain, whether it's love, whether it's mind wandering, whatever it is. Rest and do nothing with it. And notice what happens when you do that. Noticing what's here now. Just resting and allowing. Being it. Like it's not separate from you. And then very slowly and gently begin to open your eyes. And as you do that, keep attention in that felt sense in your body, in that inner spaciousness. Notice what happens when your eyes are open and you're still feeling, still just present to what's here, what's happening in your inner experience. Notice you can still sit with energies and do nothing with them. And notice what happens when you do that with eyes open. As you look around the room, notice that nothing you're looking at seems to come with a label. Notice all you're really seeing are colors, shapes, textures, which are really also colors and shapes. Notice that nothing you're looking at is asking you to do something with it. Nothing you're looking at is asking you to understand or to control or do anything. Notice that nothing you're looking at, none of the shapes or colors, is saying, "Fix me." And notice that nothing you're feeling in your body is saying, "Fix me," either. So as you go about your day, see if you can just come back to this place of resting, this natural rest, even if just for a moment at a time. Do it often throughout the day. In fact, see if it ever really leaves.